All right, let's get started, inshallah. Okay. All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. We begin in the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, and we send peace and blessings upon His last and final Prophet, Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. Ameen. So welcome to Arabic 1, and welcome to California Islamic University. If this is your first class, we will get right into it. So a bit about the class. So this class is Arabic 1. It's an introduction to Arabic. The assumption is that you at least know the alphabet, the Arabic alphabet, or at least can read a little bit of Arabic, just like reading. Is there anyone who doesn't know the Arabic alphabet? It's okay, we'll work with you though. But okay, that's fine. So anyone else? Okay, so yeah, we'll work with you, but you're gonna have to work extra hard this week. But you can do it. It's really not that difficult, inshallah. Okay. What we're gonna be doing in this class is obviously we're gonna be learning Arabic. We're gonna try to get you a solid vocabulary base by the end of this class, and have you develop the ability to be reading, writing, and doing a little bit listening comprehension, a little bit speaking as well, inshallah. So that's the goal. If you have any questions, the syllabus has been updated or has been uploaded onto Canvas. I'll talk about Canvas in a moment, but let me just go over the syllabus. So the syllabus mentions the learning outcomes that you have. It mentions my email address if you have any questions. It talks about the books that we're going to be using. So the primary book that we're going to be using is a book that is not published yet. It's called Islamic Arabic. It's written by me. It's written like 10 years ago. So we're just very slow at publishing it. So it's not been published yet, but it's coming soon. But it'll be uploaded for you. So that's the only reading material that you absolutely need. And then there's a recommended reading book. And that recommended reading book is called Introduction to Quranic and Classical Arabic. Quranic with the K, Quranic, because it's written by an Orientalist professor from Harvard, and he misspelled the word Quran. It's okay. It happens at Harvard too. So it's a really good book. That's a book that I learned Arabic from first, but it's a very difficult book to go through without a teacher. So if you're one of those students who likes to excel in their studies and you like to really take things to the next level, you should read all the recommended reading that's there on the syllabus. If you just want to get by, then you'll be fine with just the required reading that we're going to be uploading for you every single week. Okay? This is a 4-unit class. We will have homework every single week. Your homework will be worth 50% of your grade. So how many of you are enrolled as degree students, or you're taking this for credit? You're going to get a grade. How many of you are audit students? Okay, so audit students, you just chill out. You absorb whatever you're going to get, and you're like, I don't need to worry about grades. If you want to do homework, great. If you don't want to do it, no problem. All right, so you'll absorb things. So, but if you're taking it for credit, your homework is 50% of your grade, which means if you miss one homework assignment, it's going to significantly impact your grade. Okay, so you want to make sure you're doing your homework, and you want to make sure you're turning it on time. Okay, the final exam will be 40% of your grade, and there will be a final project, which I'll tell you about later. It's going to be 10% of your grade. Okay, so final project is going to be something like a little spoken presentation in Arabic. All right, and you're going to be recording that. Okay, if you want to deliver it and you have no stage fright and all that, we can set that up as well, inshallah. So we're going to be meeting on Tuesdays, 7 o'clock till 9:50 technically. Sometimes we'll end like 9:40. We'll try not to go over 9:50 because I know that people need to get back home, get back to work. All of our lectures are live streamed, so there are students who are currently online right now, and we will be watching them. So I'm going to show you how we will watch them actually in a moment. Let me duplicate this window here, because we're going to be answering their questions. So I'm going to explain to you what's going on here if you don't know Canvas. All of our lectures are live streamed. Okay. Sorry. So there's one person watching right now. and as you can see, they're like 10 seconds delay. But no one else is online. So there's only one person. That's probably our tech guy in the back here. Okay, so that's okay. Alhamdulillah. Yes. All right. So we'll periodically check for questions from online students. So everything is live streamed. Everything is recorded as well. So if you're attending live right now and you miss a class or you need to go back and review something, you can always watch the video. If you're online right now or you're watching this video after it's already been recorded, you could watch whenever you want, as long as you watch it before your homework is due, because then you won't be able to do your homework, right? Late homework policy. So we have a new late homework policy this year. So the late policy is that you have to turn in your assignment on time. If you're late by 1 day, you will get 80% credit, so 20% deduction for 1 day late if you turn in your homework. If you turn it in 2 days late, you get 50% deduction. Okay, that's pretty serious. If you turn it in after 2 days, it's just not going to be accepted. You get 0%. You should still turn it in. You should still do it anyways for your own knowledge, but you just don't get any credit for it. Okay, but that even if you're late and you miss it for whatever reason, do your homework anyways, because it will show on your final whether you actually did it or you didn't do it. All right. If you have a valid excuse, if you're sick or something like that, you have to let us know prior to the due date. So if you're like in bed and you're feeling really sick and you're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to finish my homework, just shoot a real quick email to info@calislamic.com before the deadline comes in, so we can block that off for you. Okay. If you are going to be missing class because you're going out of town, we need to know that you're leaving prior to the due date. So if you come back and you be like, I was out of town for 2 weeks on business, like that's great, but you should have told us before the due date, not 2 weeks after you came back. So you have to let us know in advance. And if there's an emergency, if you're in the hospital, you're unconscious or something, you don't need to message us. You can let us know, but let us know immediately. Don't let us know 4 weeks after you got out of the hospital and you're fine. You're like, by the way, 4 weeks ago I was in the hospital and now I'd like an excuse. That's not right. So let us know as soon as you're able to tell us, okay? Question policy is, if you have a question, please raise your hand. So I'll call on you. Sometimes I want to finish a point that I'm making, and if I just call on you in the middle or if you start talking, I may get distracted and lose that point. So I don't want to do that. Parking is open after 7 p.m., even like around after 6 p.m. So you could park in any spot. If you're coming early to school, like before 6 p.m., you got to park in a non-marked spot. Okay, so we have 4 spots only for our building, but all the unmarked spots behind the building and behind the other building, they're all okay to park in. Okay? We are on a quarter system, so there's 3 quarters in a year. Each quarter consists of 11 weeks. 10 weeks of class, 1 week is finals week. There's no class in finals week, but your final is due that week. Some finals are in class, some finals are just online. Finals week, we're open, you can come and study. You could do like what other college students do and bring your pajamas and go to sleep in the cafe and all that stuff. No, try not to do that. But, anyways, you can come and study. It's just kind of weird. All right, so people do that. Each week we have 3 hours of lecture. Then there's going to be homework. We're going to have probably 1 break in this class. So normally we have 2 10-minute breaks. We'll make it into like 1 20-minute break. Okay? It'll be easier. We can pray Isha. Maghrib comes in before that time. Workload, if you're an audit student, you just listen. If you're a degree or access student, you're taking it for credit. It's a common question, how much time do we have to spend in homework outside of class? So 3 hours of class per week. Homework, officially, like technically, a 4-unit class is supposed to be 12 hours per week. Right? That's what you're supposed to have normally. There's class time and then there's outside homework. So 8 hours of homework, 3 hours of lecture. So 9 hours, 9 hours of homework, right? I'm tired. All right, so 9 and 3. All right, so you should technically be doing 9 hours of homework outside of class. That is the official university policy. Almost no university in America follows this policy, okay? If you've noticed. No one does 9 hours of studying usually for a 4-unit class on a quarter system. That's just the way it is. So this could realistically take you anywhere between 2 to 5 hours per week, depending on how many times you have to do your homework, how much you struggle with it, and all of that. Okay, Canvas. Canvas is our online learning system. You should have all received an invite to Canvas. If you are even if you're an audit student. Did anyone not get a Canvas invite yet? Not get a Canvas invite? Okay. Have you used Canvas before?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, in another college. So you should have gotten an invite if you registered for the class and if you paid your minimum payment for the class. You should have gotten an invite. Either they forgot to send it to you or it went to your spam box. So check your spam box. If you don't get it by tomorrow or whatever, or if it's not in your spam box, just email us, info@CalIslamic, and we'll fix it, inshallah. That's Canvas. You go to canvas.instructure.com. All of your courses are going to be in that website, basically. It's a LMS. It's a learning management system. So you're going to find in the learning management system, when you go to the beginning, so let's say you're going to your course, these are your courses that you're going to be enrolled in. You can see that, right? Yeah. So you're here, you're going to click on Arabic, okay? And then up here what you notice is course resources. So the syllabus is right here. You can read the syllabus. The school catalog is here. So our university catalog tells you about all of our policies and everything, degree requirements, all that stuff, it's all in here. Student orientation, this is an old student orientation. We don't do it every year. So this is like 99% accurate. You can adjust a few small points here. You can watch the student orientation that we did before to learn more about our school, graduation policies, all of that stuff. This is our new late homework policy, just in case you didn't get it the first time. It's like staring you in the face to make it very, very clear for you, okay? Because this is probably the number one email communication that we get is about, why can't I turn in my homework late? So this is the late policy. Please read it, follow it. Here you're going to have readings. This is the reading for this week. It's the first section of the book that we've uploaded for you. This is a handout for this week. There's not always a handout, but there's a handout for this week. I have them printed out for you, so I will hand them out to you when we need it. This is the link to the video that you can watch later on, or if you're live streaming, you got through this link. And this is going to be your homework. So this is the homework assignment. You open it, you look at it, you're actually going to be writing out your homework almost every week. And then there's going to be another link that's uploaded for you. It's going to come right below this, where you scan or you take a picture of your homework and you upload it to that link. And then we grade it from there. Okay? Any questions so far? Any questions about Canvas? Any questions about anything? Excellent. All right. So that means that everyone understood, or people are just too shy to ask questions. So it means one of the two. Well, hopefully it's the first one, inshallah. All right, so that's reading, that's instruction, that's video, that's the assessment. Due date for homework, okay? So class starts at 7 p.m. The due date for homework is 6:59 p.m. the following week. So it's due 1 minute before. If you don't turn in 1 minute before, we will see it's automatically late and you get 20% deduction. There is a problem in Canvas and we can't fix it unless we buy the full version of Canvas. The full version of Canvas is $10,000 and the free version of Canvas is free. So what we've decided to do is we've decided to live with this one little tiny problem to save $10,000. And that is that you're going to notice on your homework assignment sometimes it's going to say it's due at 7:59 p.m. And you're like, oh, I got another hour. But you don't. It's lying to you. You trust me. I said 6:59 p.m. It's due 6:59 p.m. It's telling you 7:59, but it's actually 6:59. So what happens is you're like, oh, good. You turn it in at 7:10, and it's going to lock and say, sorry, you missed the deadline. So in the background, it's 6:59, but it shows you 7:59. It's 1 hour off. Okay, so you've been warned. Don't do that. It's due 6:59. Try and turn it in earlier. Okay, so just know about that. Expectations from class. Okay, you should make your intention about why you're studying Arabic and why you're in this class from now. If you're a Muslim, you should be taking this class so that you can become a better Muslim. You can improve your relationship with your Creator, with Allah. That should be your intention, inshallah. So if you don't have it, Make that, if you have it already, renew your intention right now. Keep that in mind. You're not here to socialize. You're not here to, just have fun or something like that. That should be your intention, and that's the best intention to have. Expectation is to come on time to class, especially a class like Arabic. It's very, very important to be on time unless you're online. Expectation to study hard. Okay, I have seen literally hundreds of students who tried to learn Arabic, and then they enroll in the next Arabic class, and then they fail that one, and then they enroll another year in another Arabic class, and then they fail that one, and they end up in another Arabic class. So that's good that everyone's trying, but if you really want to succeed, you're going to have to study hard. Arabic is a subject where you really have to put time and effort into it, and if you basically, put it this way, if you don't put effort in your homework and you don't do your homework, I can guarantee you're not going to learn Arabic. It's as simple as that. Like, this is not one of the classes where you can wing it and you could cram quickly. It's just not going to work. This is not a subject that can be done with that, right? So just keep that in mind. Study advice for you, okay? I recommend that you specify the hours that you plan on studying every week, and you set them aside. So in addition to class, you're Tuesday, if you're coming to class, you're blocked 7 to 10. You should set another time, whether it's Saturday 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. or whether it's Sunday night 10 p.m. to 12, midnight. Whatever it is, set aside a time that you plan on dedicating to your homework. Otherwise, a lot of people don't know how to manage their schedule. A lot of people don't know how to manage, their life, and things keep coming in, and they end up delaying their studies. So you want to make sure you set certain times. That's going to help you. Another thing you can do is set accountability with a friend. So if you have a friend that you know is taking the class or another class, you check up on each other and say hey, did you do your homework for this week? Yeah, I did my homework. Did you do your homework? No, I'm going to do it at this time. Okay. It'll help keep you in check. It's recommended to actually go through the notes before class. So if you want to be one of those good students, the really good students, you should read the notes before coming to class. They are uploaded before class. After class, you should review the following day so it still stays a little bit fresh in your mind. And then you should review before any exam, obviously. If you come across words you don't know, you should look those words up in a dictionary. So in Arabic, we're not going to have so many words, but if you come across grammatical words or something, don't just let it slide. If you want to be a really good student, you should look words up in the dictionary. So for example, who knows what a gerund is? Raise your hand if you know what a gerund is. So gerund is a grammatical term. Most Californians don't know grammar. It's okay, right? So that's just the way the state is. That's the way the country is. So if you come across the word gerund in one of the sessions, for example, just look it up. What does that mean, right? How many of you know what an adverb is? I know you've heard of an adverb. How many of you know what it is? All right. So a few people, okay, 20% of the class knows what an adverb is, right? So we're going to come across adverbs. So you should look it up. I'm going to tell you, but in case I don't tell you or you're reading beforehand, just look it up. It's going to increase your knowledge. Always try to look things up and increase your knowledge. Okay. Grades. Grades are not everything. Okay. So if you don't get a great grade in the class, it's okay. As long as you're learning, don't get stressed out. The point is to learn. So it's good to get a good grade, but if you can't, don't stress out too much. You can always repeat the class. You can always study a little bit later and catch up on the material later on. It's not a problem. 70% is the requirement to pass this class. Okay. Question policy, we talked about them. Try to stick to questions that are relevant to class. So sometimes someone will ask me in the middle of Arabic class, I had a question. So if I made wudu and then, I touched a baby's diaper, do I have to repeat my wudu? That's a really important question. And I can answer it for you, but not during the Arabic class. You can ask me during break. You can ask me during any other time, okay? Don't be embarrassed to ask questions, because if you don't understand, it's best to ask. Otherwise, we're going to move forward, and then you're going to be a little bit behind. If you want to discuss any points in detail, something that you don't like, something that you want more details on, you can always make an appointment with me. I have office hours, okay? So you can email me, and we can make an appointment. All administrative questions should be addressed to the administration, which is either by calling our phone number on our website, calislamic.com, or by emailing info@calislamic. So I'm not the person to ask for can I adjust my class, can I drop my class? Email info@calislamic. But if any questions about the class, they can be addressed to me, inshallah. Okay, let me mute my phone here. All right, so that is that. Any questions so far? We're good so far? Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. So what we're going to do, this is what I do generally. I'm going to download this PDF, and almost every week we're going to just have, instead of slides, we're going to have a file open over here. Since mostly we're not reading, we're actually looking at some material. But this is the first day of class, so there's a little bit of an introduction, okay? So you don't read this, okay? This is just, it's gonna show where we're going, okay? This is kind of my cue here. So people learn languages for different reasons, right? Some people, they wanna speak with their Arab family back home. Some people want to get into like business with people who speak Arabic. Some people want to get a job with the CIA or the FBI. Some people want to pursue whatever other reasons. The assumption of this class, if we gave the class a title, it would be Islamic Arabic. So the assumption is that you're actually taking this class because you're interested in learning Arabic in order to understand the Islamic or the Islamic religion, the religion of Islam. So that's part of what we're going to be doing. So what does that mean, and how is that different from other courses? There's a lot of books on Arabic out there. You go to the library and you'll find like hundreds of books. You could download software like Rosetta Stone and you can like learn a little bit of Arabic, right? You can go to a university, a local university, and they'll teach you this book called Al-Kitab fi Ta'allum Al-Arabiya. What's going to happen is these books have been designed with different objectives in mind. So their objectives are either trying to understand the culture of Arabia or the culture of Arabs, or they're trying to learn Arabic for political reasons or for different reasons. So the vocabulary set is going to be geared towards the objectives that they have. So let me give you an example. If you go to almost any university in America, almost any university, the first book that they teach is a book called Al-Kitab fi Ta'allum. Has anyone taken a class and went through that book or ever seen that book? Okay. Anyone who's ever taken an Arabic class in university, that's the book that they teach. In week 1, the first day of class, the vocabulary set that they introduce, one of the words they introduce is Al-Umam Al-Muttahida, which means the United Nations, right? Now, if you're learning Arabic and your primary goal is to understand the religion of Islam, and it's not easy to memorize a bunch of words in a foreign language, you don't want your primary vocabulary set to be United Nations, right? You don't care about that word. That word is not really that interesting for you. And then you're going to learn all these animals. You can learn 100 different animals. You can learn fish, you can learn dinosaur, you can learn Tyrannosaurus Rex, you can learn Stegosaurus in Arabic. That'll be awesome. And you're like, man, I'm learning so much Arabic. I know what Stegosaurus is in Arabic. You know, my son will get a kick out of it, you know. But at the same time, you're actually wasting time, in my opinion, because you're not getting closer to your objective, and you're not likely to ever use that word in the capacity that you're trying to learn the language in. So you can only learn a limited vocabulary set. You know, let's say you memorize 10 words a day. So how many words are you going to memorize in a year? You're not likely going to use Stegosaurus within that year. You're not likely going to use the word Al-Umam Al-Muttahida, United Nations, within that year. So what's happening is, because this is more of a focus on an Islamic Arabic class, our vocabulary set is going to be related to things Islamic, like things from the Quran, things from Hadith, words that Muslims will use back and forth, like salam and things like that, right? So that's one of the things that we have. Also the sentences that are made. Like there's a book called Teach Yourself Arabic by Jack Smart. It's another book that I learned Arabic from. I was just opening books and learning. So there's one of these sentences is, Jamal Abdel Nasser was a great leader. Okay, does anyone know who Jamal Abdel Nasser was? He was a military dictator in Egypt who killed a lot of people and stuff. Anyways, regardless of what you think about him, right? The idea of putting this random political figure from Egypt into a book, into a sentence, into an introductory book for beginners, just shows you that they had a different objective and understanding. So our sentences are going to be sentences that are either based off of the Quran or based off of a statement of the Prophet, peace be upon him, or something that Muslims will be using primarily. Okay, so it's very different from other courses that you're going to find if you've shopped around and looked at different courses and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of people who want to learn Arabic. In fact, most Muslims you meet want to learn the Arabic language. Have you noticed that? Like most Muslims, I want to learn Arabic. It would be so cool to learn Arabic. And like I said, so many people have wanted to learn Arabic, but they were not able to learn any Arabic. And I think the reason why is one of two things. Number one is they want to learn Arabic, but they don't want to put the effort and the time into learning. There's nothing you can do to fix that. People just need to take it more seriously. There's no other way around that, right? So if you don't take it seriously, no book can help you. It can't solve that problem. But there's a second reason. There are those people who really wanted to learn and they were willing to put a lot of time. I know people who left their jobs and they moved to another country. They moved to Egypt, they moved to Morocco, they moved to Syria prior to the war, in different places. And they still didn't learn Arabic. And that's sad, because these people are doctors, lawyers, engineers. They can study chemistry, they can study law, they can study so many subjects. They're intelligent people, but they couldn't learn. And either it was because they weren't motivated enough for studying for something that is not going to give you a paying job at the end of the day. That's one problem. But the second problem is the way in which Arabic is being taught. So I'm going to talk about this for a little bit. So there's a few different ways Arabic is taught. One of the ways that's highly promoted in the Muslim community is what they call the traditional way of studying. Right? And I originally studied the traditional way, and that's how I started my initial Arabic studies. But I am opposed to the traditional way, and I'm going to just talk a few minutes about that. And I'll tell you why. So the traditional way of studying is to basically focus primarily on learning grammar without applying that grammar, without memorizing much vocabulary. So what you'll do is you'll learn a bunch of Arabic verbs. You'll learn how to conjugate those verbs, and you'll learn all the conjugations that exist in verbs and nouns and all of these things. And if you've ever taken another Arabic class, you might have been exposed to something like this. You'll memorize verbs and you'll be like, okay, fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat. This is how we conjugate verbs. Then you'll learn hum, huma, all of that stuff, and you'll learn the different ways that conjugations take place. Now, that's called the traditional way of learning because that's how people who are training to become Muslim scholars studied. So they call it the traditional way, and they say if it was good enough for the scholars of the past, then it's good enough for us, we should follow the same method. I think there's a big mistake there. The mistake is that those scholars who were studying to become Muslim scholars in the past, the reason why they were learning grammar was because they already knew Arabic. Okay, so if you already know Arabic and you have a strong vocabulary set and you speak Arabic, even if its grammar is a little bit messed up or whatever, and you start learning grammar, it works for you. Like if, for example, if we took a class of people who speak English fluently, and we start with a grammatical analysis of the English language, we break down the philosophy of the English language, you'll be like, oh, this is awesome, this is great, and it's going to help your English. Your English will improve. But if you take someone who's planning on moving to America and they want to learn functional English and they don't know any English at all, and you give them a grammatical breakdown and you show them all the conjugations and you teach them what is an adverb and what is a gerund and what is the subjunctive case and what is the genitive case, and they're like, I know the entire grammar of the English language, but they can't actually write a paragraph of English. It's not functional for them, right? So what happens is, in the end of the day, you will learn. If you keep studying, you will learn. But you will lose motivation quickly if you don't see results. And that's the problem that I have with the approach. So it'll work. People will still learn. But if they don't see results within the first few months, they start getting demotivated. They're like, it's been 6 months and all I know is verb conjugations. I don't know, I open the Quran, I don't know anything, right? So that's demotivating. That's why we don't teach it that way. So I just want to put a little comment on why we teach this way instead of the other way, which is a popular way of teaching, but not necessarily, in my opinion, the best.